Does a New Testament ethic require pacifism?
No.
Next.
Next question. So, no, it doesn't. And
Well, why is that? Why is it that people often think that it does? Why is that a temptation?
Because of the Sermon on the Mount, if someone strikes you on one cheek, turn the other cheek, and passages like the last half of Romans 12, which sound very Sermon on the Mount-ish, where Paul is saying, bless and do not curse, do not return evil for evil, and we think, we hear phrases like that, and we think we know what it means, okay? We think that it's the original hippie ethic, peace out, everybody, and then we take the next step and equate that with pacifism, but it just doesn't add up. It doesn't register with a careful reading of the text. So, to take that Romans 12 passage, that whole second section of Romans 12, sounds very, very much like Paul was a student of the Lord's teaching, which he clearly was, and he's commending this personal ethic of returning good for evil and overcoming evil with good, and then he says, "Do not take revenge," and then he says, "For vengeance is mine, saith the Lord, I will repay." It doesn't say vengeance is wrong. It doesn't say do not take vengeance because vengeance is wrong. It says don't take vengeance because vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. So we're told to leave room for God's vengeance. Well, in the original book of Romans, there's no chapter and verse markings. Okay, there's no chapter 13. There's no Romans 13 in Romans, the original Romans. So if you keep reading down, right after it says, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord, it says that we are to leave room for God's deacons of wrath. Right? The civil magistrate, Paul says explicitly, doesn't bear the sword for nothing. So, so Paul says right after this peace, love, and peace, love message, he says, and make sure you call the cops.
Right.
Right? Because not because vengeance is wrong, but because vengeance is mine. And two places in Romans 13, it says that the civil magistrate is God's deacon, God's appointed agent for punishing the wrongdoer, and punishing the wrongdoer with the sword.
So it's okay to call the cops, and it's okay to be the cop.
It's okay to call the cops. It's okay to be the cop. So in the New Testament, when John the Baptist is asked by soldiers, what should we do? He says, one of the things he says is, be content with your wages. Well, that presupposes you're going to continue to receive them, meaning you're going to continue to be a soldier. The highest words of praise in the New Testament for anyone was the Lord's praise of the Marine colonel who told him, I understand authority. I say to this soldier, go, and he goes, and the soldier come, and he comes. And Jesus says, I've not found faith like this in all of Israel. So you'd be hard-pressed to turn the New Testament into a pacifist book. And then keep in mind that everybody in the New Testament, Jesus and the apostles, they had a Bible, right? And their Bible is the Old Testament is by no means a pacifist book.
Right. Okay.